Today, I want to talk about something that a lot of us struggle with, including myself, and that's how we let our jobs define who we are. Now, we've all been in that situation where we're meeting someone new and they ask, "What do you do?" And we feel like we have to come up with a really cool answer that kind of proves our identity through our job. So today, I want to talk about a few things to kind of help break up that mindset. So in today's world, we are conditioned to think that our job title equals our self-worth. Now, we've all been there. We're in a conversation, we're meeting someone new, and the first thing they ask is, "What do you do?" And for some reason, they think that's the only exciting thing about us that they need to know. And the reality is, we are way more complex than that. We have a lot more going on, but for some reason, we think that we need to tie up our whole identity in what we do for work. Now, don't get me wrong, your job is important. It pays the bills. It allows you to have personal growth in your life. It allows you to serve others. There's a lot of good reasons for sure, but it's not the only thing, nor is it the most important thing in my mind that we should be talking about when it comes to expressing who we are as individuals. Now, let me ask you this. If something happens tomorrow and you are no longer able to do the job that you have, for whatever reason, do you think you're going to struggle as a person? Do you think you're going to have a problem with figuring out what it is that you are and what you should do with your life? That's a question I think that you should be asking yourself. It's one I ask mine. And for me, lately, I've been asking it a whole lot more because I don't want to tie in everything that I do with my job, right? It is important, but I need to be looking at all aspects of my life because I don't want any other area of my life falling short because I'm only focused on my job. So I need you to ask yourself that question because it's important that we apply time and energy into those other categories of our life and not make our job our main focus. So how do we break free from this mindset? Now, there's quite a few different ways that you can go about it, but the easiest thing to do is just start investing some time and energy into some hobbies or other relationships or whatever it is that brings value to your life. Because at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we're looking at all categories, all aspects of our life to where we're not just all tied up into one thing. So for me, hitting the outdoors, going camping, going hiking, riding motorcycles, hanging out with my family, spending time with my boys, starting to get into more of a physical routine as far as like exercising, eating right, looking at all of those smaller things like on a daily basis and kind of tracking those. What I'm doing is I'm investing into myself. So I'm getting stronger physically and mentally every day to where if something does happen with my job, I don't have all my eggs in one basket and it's not going to like hurt so bad if something changes in that field or in that category. And the reality is we could look at that from all categories, right? If we are 100% invested only into like one particular relationship, well, if that relationship failed or it ended, well, guess what? You're going to be completely broken because you had all of your eggs in that one basket. Same thing with finances. If you invest all your money into one thing and that thing fails, well, guess what? All your money's gone. So it's the same type of mindset. Diversify what it is that you put your energy into to where, because the thing is, when it comes to work, and why we're even talking about this today, is because typically most of us spend way too much time and energy focused on work because it's all about money. And they think money is going to create more happiness in their life. And that's just not true. So money is just a tool, right? You can have more fun if you have more money, but it's not necessarily going to give you more happiness. So what brings you true happiness really boils down to you and what you value. So for me, it's family time, flexibility in my just everyday life where I can feel like I'm not on a schedule constantly. If I want to hang out and relax, I can have that flexibility. So that's important for me. Spending good quality time with my boys and all my kids is very important. That's a huge legacy of mine that I want to leave behind, is what kind of father was I to my kids. So anyway, let's rewind it a little bit. Go back to how can we break this mindset? Just start focusing on the things that you really enjoy that's outside of work and start building those up a little bit. And before you know it, your pie, if you will, you're going to start seeing more categories filling up that pie instead of it just being your job. To wrap things up and to kind of give you my final thoughts on this topic is I just want you to know that your job is not who you are. It's just one thing that you do. So make sure that you are putting time and energy and investing into those other categories in your life. Because before you know it, if you don't, you wake up one day and you'll realize you're starting to feel a bit empty. You could easily get burned out, right? Because you're solely focused on one thing. And if something doesn't go absolutely right, your whole world is wrecked instead of it just being a small part of what you're doing. So work on those relationships, work on the relationship with yourself, right? Eating, exercise, whatever hobbies, whatever you enjoy, whatever makes you smile, whatever brings true happiness into your life. Don't be sucked into the trap that you just need to work and grind and do nothing else. Now, don't get me wrong, grinding is definitely part of working our job and what we do, but it should be in short spurts. It shouldn't be a whole marathon. It should be sprints when you need to do them. There are times, there are chapters in our life where we need to get into the work and we need to do it hard and we just need to put our head down. But don't let that be what you do all the time to where that's who you become and you do nothing else and you're just a workaholic, because that's not an enjoyable life. One thing I like to do whenever I'm thinking about something, I like to visualize that I'm 80 years old and I'm sitting back and I'm contemplating my life. I'm contemplating where I am and the things that I've done and where I'm at that point. And so that gives me this perspective of like what's truly important. And when I'm 80 years old, I don't want to think about, well, oh man, I grinded hard. I worked a lot. I put in a lot of hours. You know, I built up these businesses. I've made all this money. For me, that's not what I value. I want to make good money to where I can support my family, no doubt, but not at the cost of actually being with my family and hanging out with them and going on trips, being physically there. And then secondly, being there with myself, because at the end of the day, I am an individual. I do want to experience this life in the way that I want to experience it. And as I'm getting older, I'm realizing my job, the work that I do, is not something that I want to do all the time, to where it's just 6-7 days a week. Don't really have any time to do anything else. So anyway, I feel like I'm kind of going on a rant here, but I really wanted to kind of hit this point because it's been on my mind lately. And I feel like this conversation has not really been had. Maybe it is, and I'm just not aware of it, but you know, we're in this like grind hustle culture, but no one really talks about like how much grind or how much hustle. How long should you be doing it, right? I think everyone's different in that respect, but the reality is it should tailor down. It should fade down at some point, and you should start having fun. You should start being able to spend more time with the people that you love and with doing the things that you enjoy. So anyway, if you resonated with any of this, give this video a thumbs up. Really appreciate you guys being here. I enjoy talking about these things, and I want to talk about more and more because I really feel like these topics directly affect the work that we do and the quality of our lives. And that matters to me. So anyway, thanks for being here. See you guys on the next video.